Hi, welcome back to Thislovelystitch. On this channel, I create what I love and explore the creative process. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 20 mostly free crochet ideas to celebrate Valentine's Day. So some of these are super Valentine's Day coded, others are just, I think they are really inspiring for the holiday as gifts or just as something fun to make to get into the holiday spirit. And just by changing the colors, you can make it more romantic and Valentine's themed. So the first project I have for this roundup is the Winter Love Earmuffs by Bernat. I think this is so pretty, especially in this hot pink color, but I think this is also another reason why this is a really good project is because, at least where I live in Maryland and Georgia, February is still a little bit chilly, so earmuffs is a good in-between from like a thick, woolly winter hat and not having anything on your head, because it still keeps you warm, but it's not as dense as doing a full hat scarf like winter wear set. So that's idea number one. Idea number two is the Hardy Stripes Mosaic Blanket, and this is also by Red Heart. This blanket I think is really interesting and I think is a good example of how you can make Valentine's crafts and gifts personalized. This blanket, at least the picture that I chose, is like blues and kind of these like teal cool tone colors, but obviously you can make it in pink, you can make it in whatever colors you want. So definitely a little bit of a longer project, but I think really pretty and can really be like multi-seasonal. Like, you don't have to make it in pink. It could be something that you have all the time out on your couch. Okay, I'm just looking down because I have all of them on my iPad so I don't miss any ideas or misspeak for who made the pattern. But the next pattern is the Valentine's Gnome by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. I think this is so cute, and this designer actually has a couple different gnome patterns. So you can make the hat different colors, different designs to kind of change out the hat, and then that will like change the gnome's kind of season or celebrating holiday. So yeah, I think it's really cute. I think the colors she chose especially are nice, like that variegated pink. So yeah, I think that's a really cute design. Idea number 4 is the XOXO Garland by Sarah Faith Crafts. This is another really cool one. I actually am planning on doing this for my dorm. I have this like big window that's on the whole other side of my dorm room. So I want to do like a little cute XOXO garland so you can see it when you walk in and like kind of when I go to bed and study. So I want to do a garland on this side of my room and maybe a little bit behind me too. So yeah, this is definitely something that I actually plan on making for Valentine's Day this year. Idea number 5 is a Lunar New Year Dragon by Premier Yarn, and this is, I showed a picture of it in pink, but again, you can make it in any color. I think this is really cute. I'm not necessarily a huge amigurumi fan, but I think that they're a great way to have like gifts because they're so small and fast to make, but they're also really cute, and you can add like a little loop to it to make it into like a bag charm, or to like add it to your car keys or whatever, or it can just be something that sits on a shelf. So I think that this is really cute. Sticking with the theme of amigurumis, idea number 6 is a Bear and Heart, and this is by Jess Huff. This is super cute. I think this would be a really nice baby gift if you have like a baby, if you know like a baby that's already been born or someone who's expecting in the month of February. I think this is a really cute idea. One thing I will say though is if you plan on making this for a small child, like a child that still swallows things, like foreign objects, or a baby, you do have to replace the plastic safety eyes with like embroidery, just because that can pop off in their mouth, and if they swallow it, that's not good. So, but other than that, I think it's a really cute pattern, a really cute idea, and very adaptable too. I've seen people do this pattern specifically in like light blues or more pinkish colors depending on the baby's gender. So it doesn't have to be a baby gift, but is or can be a good baby gift. Alright, idea number 7 is the Flower Bouquet Blanket. The pattern I selected for this one is free. It's from Nikki's Homemade Crafts. Now there's lots of different variations of this blanket. I'm actually in the process right now of making a variation of this blanket. So lots of options. I've also seen people do similar blanket styles but with lilies, sunflowers, daisies. So lots of options, but I do really like the roses in this specific example, which is why I picked it, because I like that it has different colors, and I think the green and the red and pink really just stand out so much in this pattern specifically. So that's idea number 7. Idea number 8 is a crochet rose with thorns, and this is from Crochet Mahum. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But I think this is really cute. This could be such a sweet, like, quick project to work up, and flowers are so, like, such a common gift on Valentine's Day, but I feel like doing crochet flowers makes it something that lasts forever, and that's just something that's more meaningful and like a more thoughtful gift. So that's idea number 8. 9 is the crochet hearts in a row hat, and this is by Repeat Crafter Me. Another good project for someone who's maybe in transition between winter and spring. We're not quite in summer yet for most places in the US, so I think this is another great hat, and it's also a good way to use up some of your scrap yarns because it has, at least in the original color scheme, red, white, and pink. So it's a good way to use colors you kind of already have. You could choose another 3 colors to do the pattern in. So yeah, I think it's a good way to use up scraps because hats usually take up a lot less yarn than other projects. So that's idea number 9. And idea 10 is another hat, but this one is called the Hunter Crochet Heart Hat by Lakeside Loops. This hat uses puff stitches to kind of make a, like, I don't know how I would describe it, like a tapestry like heart cutout. The sample photo is in like a gray and white, but I think it's still really pretty. And this is another good scrappy project because you can really pick any 2 yarns that work well together, where one is like a more contrast color to make this hat. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's also great for beginners who are trying to learn how to do the puff stitch and just the repetitiveness of doing that. I think this project is a really great way to practice that skill. Alright, idea number 11 is a crochet heart bookmark, and the pattern is by Joe to the World Creation. I think this is a really nice gift, especially if you were to pair it with a book. I am making some bookmarks for my mom for Valentine's Day just because I know she loves to read. So I think this is a great gift either for yourself or for the reader in your life. Idea number 12 is Baby Heart Mittens by One Dog Woof. This pattern I love. I think it's just so cute with the little pom-poms at the end, and I think it's a super functional craft too, just because like baby mittens, it's something that you kind of need but you don't really think to get for someone, or someone may not think to get for themselves. So I think this is a really good gift for new parents, especially if you have a baby, if you're having a baby or you know someone who's having a baby in February. So I think this is really cute, and it's something that can be worn year-round, especially if it's a girl. So idea number 13 is the Crochet Hedgehog by Crochet to Play. This I think is really pretty, and if I were to make this, I don't think I'll make it this Valentine's, but if I were to make it, I would change the hedgehog like fur color, the brown and white, to being like a more fun color like blue or green or purple. Just something to kind of make it stand out and make it more year-round. So I think this is a great project if you want to personalize something as a gift, because you could choose your gift recipient's favorite color and make that the hedgehog fur and then have the heart. So yeah, I love this pattern. This is pattern 13. Water break. Pattern 14 is the Crochet Gingham Heart Blanket by Daisy Farm Crafts. This blanket is very beautiful in my opinion, but it is definitely a little bit more of an intermediate project, but I think it's definitely doable. I think it's a good project if you want to work on practicing color changes, different crochet textures, because we do have some crochet granny stitches on the outside and a little bit, I think it's puff stitches, but I'm not 100% sure, on the inside around the heart. So it's a great way to practice a lot of different skills, but a smaller project, so you still get the satisfaction of being able to crochet and finish something in a relatively short amount of time. Also by Daisy Farm Crafts is pattern number 15, which is the Crochet Gingham Heart Baby Sweater. So this is using a lot of the same techniques. I think it's really pretty just because it's so dainty and elegant, especially for a little girl. So definitely a big fan of this pattern. Sticking in the line of garments, for pattern 16, I have the Free Beaming Heart Pullover by Red Heart. This is another, I think all the patterns so far have been free, but this is a really great free pattern because it also has some video tutorials for free on the website, on the Yarnspirations website. So yeah, this is the Free Beaming Heart Pullover. You can make it in a ton of different colors. I think the one I picked for the sample image is like pink, purple, and like a tealish blue color, but you can make this in so many colors. I've seen people do black and white, red. Another great stash buster yarn because you could really expand, like do way more colors or fewer colors depending on what your stash looks like and how much time you have. Alright, item number or pattern number 17 is Valentine's Yarnly by Burnett. This is so cute. This would make such a good cup charm. I don't have a Stanley cup, but I have this. I think this is hide your peak. But like if you are in Stanley Cup World or whatever, I've seen a bunch of people do like little charms on the handles. So you could easily just add a little ring and then make this into this little amigurumi into a charm. But yeah, I think it's so cute, especially if you know someone in your life who has a Stanley or a Stanley-esque looking cup. You can make this in whatever cup their Stanley is in, and it could be a great like little accessory. So that's pattern number 17, and pattern number 18 is by Red Heart, and it's the XOXO crochet scarf. This is great. I think it's another good transition piece, a great way to work on textures if you're just learning crochet, but in a very approachable way. Number 19 is also by Red Heart, and this is the Crochet Heart tote bag. I think this is so pretty, especially if you were to like incorporate this into a larger Valentine's Day gift, like have the tote bag and stuff it with flowers or books or whatever that person in your life really likes. So that's pattern 19. And to finish off the video, pattern 20 is the Solid Heart Granny Square by Adore Craya. This I think is really pretty and very versatile. If I were to make this crochet like solid heart granny square, you could make it into so many things like blankets, hats, tote bags. The list really just goes on and on. I definitely want to make another video later this year just showing like a bunch of different granny square inspiration patterns and tutorials and whatnot. But yeah, I think crocheting a granny square, you can't get any more basic and versatile than that. So that's what I'm ending the video off with today. So yeah, comment down below what you're making for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna have a ton of Valentine's videos coming out soon, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I post new videos every weekday, so I'll see you soon. Bye.